Okay, hopefully everyone can see the screen share. Say yes if you can.
Yes.
Yes, good, thank you. Have some interaction here, well done. And yeah, I can't really respond very well to comments or questions, so if Andre or Vanessa, you
No.
can. Yeah. Okay, this is the meeting issue. So this is meeting number 25, project management meeting for the Singularity Net Archive Working Group. Today's the Wednesday, the 29th of May, I think. Yes, it is. Just some preamble to welcome people. So the Singularity Net Archive contains a history of the archives of the Singularity Net Ambassador Programme. All content is provided under open source license, and contributions we intend to license under a Creative Commons license. Excuse me. So our goal is to provide a collaborative platform for the Singularity Net Archive community to share knowledge, ideas, and best practices. And we welcome contributions from anyone interested in Singularity Net, whether it's a new project code, example, or documentation. So our process is, first of all, to review action and decision items, and then I go through the project board, and then we wrap up with any final questions, and then we stop the recording. But first of all, we go over to action and decision items. Do you want to share the screen for that, Vanessa?
Yeah, sure. Just give me a second. Boom. All right. Can everyone see?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice one.
Clearly.
All right. So for anyone who hasn't seen it before, this is the meeting summary tool where we obviously put our meeting summaries. So I've started a summary for today. I think I've got everybody who's here. I just want to check, is that the right name for, is it IO? Is that what you go by on Discord? Because we try to use people's Discord names if we can.
Yes.
It is.
It's
Excellent. That's really good. All right. Now for the meeting video link, I just linked to the playlist so that we don't have to fanny about with adding individual videos. And I don't think there are any working docs to add, but oh, actually there will be. I will add, we've got a draft budget for Q3. God, we're thinking about Q3 already. So I will add that later. Now let's just flip through the decisions. Stephen showed April and May work on collab development, and I've given a little bit of blah about what he said. So I think that's already been recorded, so we can remove it. Same with the open source strategy issue. We just said that we need to break it up, and that's kind of been done. On open source docs management, I gave a little bit of blurb about what Andre has been working on and what needs to be the next steps. So that's done. We clarified the distinction between Stephen's LLM work and Ubio's this quarter. So that can come off. It's been done. The meeting summary tool development this month. I just noted what Andre said. And the data dump of meeting summaries only includes links to any linked docs rather than the content of the doc itself. So that's recorded, so we can take that off. So that leaves us now space to add any new decisions that come out of this meeting. Now, action items. Duke to create a video walkthrough of how to use the GitHub board. Duke's not here. Are you here? He's not, is he?
No, I don't think
Okay.
Nope.
What?
Yeah, it's not yet.
No, he's not here. No,
Okay, so in the last meeting, I think it was Onyeka who said that it's done, but he just hasn't shared it. So I will DM him and just go, oh, can you put it in the channel or whatever, and then we can get that closed and paid. So okay, Sucre was to add the Q1 quarterly report to the Ambassador Git book. I think that's done. I'll check it and I'll come back and sort that out. When something is done, we move it to done, and then it doesn't appear on this list next time. So it's just a way of tracking action items. Everyone to add comments to the AI ethics doc asynchronously. I've not seen any. So I think it's got its own issue now. So I'm going to leave that as in progress, and it's something that we can bring up in the next meeting. So let's change the date to the 12th. I was to start writing a guide on how to make a doc community owned, and it is in progress, but yeah, it's been a bit slow. So I will change the date to the 12th, and I'm actually thinking we might want to add this to the budget for Q3, because we're all going to be chipping in on that. Sucra, Clement and Lord Kizzy to agree criteria for good meeting summaries bounty and do all that. And I think, yeah, they are going to, I'm hoping one or more of them will be here. Oh, Clement's here. Excellent. So yeah, that is in progress and it is kind of ongoing for the rest of June. So I will add that. I think actually, no, what I might do is I might say that this is done and then create a new one, because we'll be doing it right through June. So, and then Andre to discuss with Ubio about town hall presentation, and that's done as well, isn't it? So you'll be talking about that when we get to it. So I'll do all the tags and emotions later, but apart from that, I think that is all. There's something in the chat. Hang on. Oh, right. Yes, I haven't added today's meeting issue yet, but thank you. Let me just copy paste that. And
Yeah, it's just a
it goes up
suggestion.
here. Where the hell's the meeting issue? Okay. Um, okay, so I'll remove that. There we go. All right. That's it.
Great, thanks, Vanessa. Okay, I'll go back now, and the process next is for me to do, once it's on screen, should be on screen now, is to go through a stand-up of the project board. So I'll start, just dive straight into that, and it'll be in the order of labels, so maybe slightly weird order. The first issue is always the meeting issue, which Vanessa just posted into the record for today's meeting, which just records what we're doing here now. And then the first issues is the governance Gitbook issues, which is assigned to Vanessa.
Stephen, before I do it, you're really quiet. I don't know if anybody else is finding this. Can you turn your mic up at all?
How's that? Is that better?
Sorry. All right, so this issue, for those who don't know, there is something called the Governance Gitbook, which we initially planned to kind of gather all the governance experiments that are going on throughout the ecosystem. And work on this has gone across Q1 and Q2 and still isn't finished. And the reason for that is that we've been working with the Supervisory Council on how to document the blueprints. And some of the work on that obviously dictates how we create and how we structure the Governance Gitbook. After a bit, after a lot of discussion and a lot of thinking, we've decided that the Governance Gitbook should actually be something more like a portal, and it should link out to other Gitbooks backed by their own repo, so that things like, if there are different permissions or licensing issues on individual documents, we don't have to fanny about with that, and we can have, okay, this Gitbook has this licensing and this one has that licensing. And also just because, like, for those of you who have seen the document, the blueprint document, I think it's 80 pages long. And so it is going to be quite a big thing, because it's all in, it's all in sections. The principle that we sort of wanted to use with this is something that I kind of know about from the work I do with museums and archives. It's the idea of kind of like nested information. So there's top level info for people who just want to skim it, but then you need to be able to drill down to the level of detail that you want to know, because otherwise it's really off-putting. It just means that people are confronted with more information than they want. So we've got to think about this nested structure, and that is obviously really different for different documents and how that structure works. So hence the whole thing of the portal. And I think now, after a fair bit of discussion, and I know I'm really behind with this issue, so I do apologise to people, but I think now it will go quite fast and we will get it done by the end of the quarter. Because we're clear now about exactly how we're doing. And actually, I'm kind of glad that I didn't start creating stuff until we'd gone through that process, because I would have only had to do it all again. But you can see a list in the comment above the one that Stephen's writing in, which says kind of what's going to go in it. And I think we should probably add to that to say the blueprint as well, the decentralization blueprint. And these are not in this one Git book. They're kind of in they're linked out to from the portal. And there will be more, hopefully. I hope we are always going to be doing experiments in governance. And I feel like this is quite strongly linked to the governance work group. So have we actually got that there? Oh,
I just
no,
added
that's
it.
another thing. That's another thing that needs to be there, is documentation of. Oh no, it's there, sorry. The core contributors consent process decision making. I think we could say Q1 and Q2 budgets, if you wouldn't mind changing that.
Okay.
So that's been kind of quite a chunky governance experiment that's gone on. So yeah, that needs to have its own space. So yeah, sorry, I've gone on about that a little bit, because for quite a few meetings I've just been going, yeah, it's still in progress, we're still discussing it. And now I actually feel like we're there, so I can give a proper update. So cheers for
Yeah.
listening.
Thanks for that, Vanessa. Yeah, I mean, it kind of clarifies. It was like a work in progress, wasn't it? And the kind of the decentralization blueprint has sort of like helped bring things into focus a little bit more, hasn't it? So, are we going to say the same thing for the other issues? That just a Q2 issue? Sure.
Yeah, because
Okay.
all we did is split the work up across Q1 and Q2. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Shall I copy the comment there, do you think?
Oh, can do, yeah, if you want.
Just so there's some reference there.
So for anyone who's wondering why we do it this way, it's to do with how we structure our budgeting. If we've got money that for a task that goes across the Q1 and the Q2 budget, we generally separate it out so that when the bit that is in Q1 is finished, we can close that issue and send it for payment, so that we keep it tightly within what the agreed budget is for each quarter. So it does kind of sometimes cause a little bit of faff because we have two issues about the same thing, but in the end it also saves trouble.
Okay, yeah, I provided a link to the project board in chat. Moving on from there. Okay, so I'm just okay, Ubio's tool development. Let's have a look. We left it at we met with Ubio a few weeks ago, and now we looked at the data dump, so it's kind of same situation there. I believe that we need to clarify this, but I believe that Ubio is going to be looking at different sources for models, for large language models, and
Yes.
comparing them. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
I did ask him to give me a brief description of what he's going to work on next. So he still needs to get back to me. I know he had some health issues last week,
Right.
but he seems better. So he'll get back to me on exactly what he's going to do. But what you mentioned now is it's one of the things he's going to work on. It's trying different models.
Okay. And just for reference, people, what we're talking about here, we'd kind of probably be looking at something like Hugging Face, which I'll just bring up here, hopefully, which is a repository for different large language models. So you have models here, but models can be found elsewhere. And what Ubio is going to do, he's going to go and look through these different models to see how they can complement the work. I actually create a link there to Hugging Face into the issue as well, actually, so that we can use that for future reference. How each model might, some models are larger than others, and there's different pros and cons. So that's what Ubio is going to look at. Okay, I'll just put a comment on there, and we move on to. Should we start with your development issues, Andre? Do you want to start on the document management and tooling one?
Yeah, I've added something at the bottom, I think updates. Yeah. So the last time I managed to capture the text of the documents, but they weren't formatted. So I've built a function to get the structure of the Google Doc, the headings and all that. And then I've also built something to export these docs in Markdown with the proper headings.
Right.
And I also separated the different kinds of docs into different folders. So I managed to separate them. So the next step is just to create these different folders and the folder structure. And another next step is to design or find a way to show the comments of the docs in a Markdown format. So you'll have only the text of the doc, and then there will also be another version that shows the comments, just so we can keep track of the comments as well. So we need to design or work on something to make that human readable, but also have like an audit trail.
Okay. When you say type, what are the different types that we're talking about here?
So yeah, you get Google Docs, then you get Google Spreadsheets.
Right. Yeah, and also slides, I suppose, potentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just separating, because people also add YouTube links, and so need to separate all those links, different types of links, and handle them appropriately.
Got you. Okay. That's great. Thanks, Andre. And we come to you again for this tool development issues. Shall I go to the last one, May?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose we can close the April one.
Right. Well,
keep forgetting to close them.
I suppose that's gosh, that's the work. Thank you for reminding me how we should do. That's good. So let's put that to done.
Yes.
That's for April, and then May is here. Yeah.
May. Also added updates at the bottom.
Yeah.
So I added, I think one of our meetings in chat, we mentioned something about the tooltips. So I just added on the homepage just one line that makes people aware of the tooltips. And so if they are using the tool, just so they are aware that if they hover on the fields, the tool will give them tips on what is needed or how they can use. And then I also created, excuse me, a new repo where I will rework this tool like from scratch, just take lessons learned and build it from scratch. But I will also create like a wireframe or something we can present to the community just to show new features and get feedback while we build this new version.
Right.
So
the new
hopefully get
Sorry, so the new repo would be like a more polished version, a more presentable version.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Just check. Right. Let me move on to other development issues, which are me, I think. Okay, I'll start with an issue that we did some work on to split up. So we had this big kind of speculative issue, which we would called, for want of a better word, open source strategy, which is to be split up, as you can see there. And that broke into these sections here, which were the technical document process, which we've moved to do. We put that in abeyance. That's something we may do in the future. I'll come back to that in a minute. Open source and Creative Commons licensing. Again, that's something we have put to our to-do category, something we may do in the future. What we have decided to do is to put the RAG process into in progress. Another thing that's in progress is the open source presentation, which has some work done on it already. So we're going to close this issue. This is actually like a reference issue. There's no funds against it at all. It's zero. Because the subject of this issue has now been broken up into its separate parts. So I'll just go ahead and close this. I'll put it
Yeah, if everything's been lifted out, then
yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Oh yeah,
Okay.
because it's all got links to where you've
Yeah.
lifted it to.
I
Yeah,
put all
super.
I put all the links to the replacement issues in there, and I'll just go over those now. Sorry, briefly, because some of them. We go up to the top here. We have issues which are basically in the backlog. We try and keep the backlog to a minimum so that we don't really build up a massive thing. But here we have things that we potentially will do in the future. One of them is as I said before, our technical documentation process, which may be looking at how we capture and put change control to technical documentation. And then a more general thing here, which may be opportunities for participation and funding in Q3 or 4, which is open source and Creative Commons licensing, research and education. The issues that are live now are I'll come back to, yeah, so the issues that are live from that are the RAG process. So what's happening here, I've started a very draft section under here, which give you some idea. I've started under here will be a documentation of our RAG process. So obviously going to start with what does RAG stand for, retrieval augmented generation, and then build out a kind of subsection here for each part of the workflow, so retrieval, augmentation, and generation. And this will link back into our work, the LLM development work. So each section will have documentation of our Colab notebooks here. Just give some away. Then let's see, I think that's it on that one. There's a budget allocated to that from, I think it was from the open source line, but we need to discuss that in due course. The other thing is open source paradigm. This has now got its own issue, and it's a draft presentation which I'm working on in PowerPoint. There's a kind of indication of what that's going to look like here. There's a link there to the content, but the PowerPoint presentation is going to have more graphical images and things like that, and it's going to be recorded into a video and things like that. So it's going to be more than it's going to be more like a taster video, really. So that's in progress. For
Stephen, I
yeah,
think
yeah.
I think we need to change the title to, rather than presentation, education, because there's a few other bits and pieces that you're doing as part of it. It's not just the presentation. So
Okay.
just to match the budget line that we've got for it.
Okay. Is that better then? Okay. And
Yeah, that's cool.
cool. Okay. Okay, so that's what was split up from that issue. So that it's basically these two pieces of work here. Now to give an update on my development work, which is like my equivalent of what Andre does, like my month-to-month development work. So this month's I've updated this issue to give a kind of chronological order. I'm trying to follow your practice a little bit here, Andre, as well. So to give a link to the sources. So there's an overall, there's the overall repo location where the Colab notebooks live. There's some Python code which is in abeyance at the moment, and the Colab notebooks are currently. I haven't done any work for a week or so, but in order they are basically a basic code to load JSON files, and that's the example code there. A slightly more sophisticated loading and pre-processing code, which takes in, and I've put in explanatory text here, which will go into the Git book. This takes JSON and then breaks it up into bits basically what's called chunking, chunks the data into bits. We're ready, so that's ready to be put into a vector database. It's preparation. Then finally, the last one was, which starts to go over, all that was retrieval code. And this starts to get into augmentation code, where you take your chunked data and then you create a vector store using and then you apply a similarity search, which is a very common similarity search, which is often used something called FAST, which is the Facebook. It's based on Meta, but it's open source. And that takes so you take the JSON, it puts it into bits, it then commits that to a vector store, and then you do a similarity sort. So this is not a database comparison, this is a semantic comparison. So it gives it so it's like a proof of concept, this. So it will just compare. When you ask a question like who is the host, it won't give you an answer to that. It will look for the proximity of semantic meaning in the vector store to that sentence. And that's what we've got here. So you've just got a rather dumb response at the moment, and that's where we're going to begin. So that's that. The next steps will be more to do with prompt engineering. Well, I won't talk about that now because I don't want to go too much detail. But that's where we are. So that's for May. So June will be more into vector store manipulation. Okay, any questions about that? Yeah. I think that's development issues. I'll just check, and now I'll go on to archive outreach, which is Vanessa.
Yeah, this is another one that's kind of to do with the Supervisory Council. So yeah, I'm just thinking, what should the update be? Because basically it's just been ongoing, and now I think we've reached a point where they have decided how that. So shall I just update this out of the meeting, so you don't have to frantically type? And I'll just explain to people that a lot of what we've decided to do with them has been about how they want to be attributed. So it's interesting because it links into our thinking around things like Creative Commons and open source. So yeah, it's a funny one because obviously the Supervisory Council did a tremendous amount of work to write the blueprint document, but they also did that with input from the community as well. And there are questions there about how we attribute that. That's work that we're going to be doing going forward. But it raises interesting questions about whether there is an ongoing version of the document which is run by the next Supervisory Council, and or whether we somehow fork it to have another version that is run and managed by the community. So yeah, interesting things to say, no decisions made, and I feel like because we've got quite a lot to get through today, maybe we should talk about that a little bit further in the next archives meeting.
Yeah, I mean, there's interesting relations there with Andre's work on the document, Google document,
Yeah,
stuff as well,
absolutely.
because we're trying to draw down, as you say, we're trying to reconcile change management in Google Docs with open source change management, I suppose, as well, aren't we? And also to determine, determine kind of an open source or attribution, where we can in liaison with the supervisory council. So it's an interesting work in progress.
Yeah, and I think maybe I should also say, like, if anybody who is relatively new here hasn't seen the Blueprint doc, I will hunt out a link to it and put it in the chat. And also the document where Daniel has been requesting some input on, he's basically making a proposal that the next supervisory council, when they're voted in, if they're voted in, will manage the Blueprint document going forward. So yeah, it's just some interesting thoughts. And if people are interested in these kind of issues, then jump in and comment. I'll try and find the links and put them in the chat in a minute.
Right, thanks, Vanessa. The next one is, I think you referred to this in the action for Duke. Vanessa, we already given an update for that in the action section?
Sort of, yeah, but I was just wondering, Onyeka, do you know anything further? We were saying last meeting that we wanted Duke to like post it like either in this issue or in the Discord channel.
Yeah, I did reach out to him and I told him what you guys said. And he said he will post it, but as we are yet to see the post. I don't know, and he's not present. But I could reach out to him again.
I imagine he's just really tied up with deep funding stuff, to be honest. So yeah, we'll cut him some slack and one or both of us can just bob him a DM and just go, is it ready?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, the status then is unchanged. That's how for anyone
Yeah.
who's new, we don't give any updates if it's just if the status is the same as the last time we comment, we just leave it as the last comment. So that's still as it was. We're just going to wait for some posting on Discord. Okay, this is interesting, this one. Now, this has been on here a while, the archive Gitbook backlog. The issue I have here is because of a lot of the other work that's coming forward on development, particularly LLM development and stuff and other commitments, I might need to think about how to make this a community task, and I kind of raised that as a comment last time. So is there any further thinking on this or thoughts on this? I mean, maybe
It got assigned to it. Is it 200 or
it's got
more?
I don't think I put some assignment.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's me. I should let me check the
Yeah.
budget and see what it should have been.
Yeah.
But how would we manage it if we kind of
Well, I
offered
think
it out?
we could potentially break it up, because I think all it is involved is to go through the YouTube videos, the historical YouTube videos, okay, and then to take those. I suppose we could do that through the tool, couldn't we, Andre? We could
Yep. Yes, yeah.
yeah. We would go to the tool. We would then enter in is there a town hall record now? I can't remember, because they're mostly town halls. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's a template, yeah.
Yeah. So you go to you check the YouTube record for it. You put in that as the kind of file, I suppose. And the summary is actually, I think, under each YouTube video, there is a little bit of text where sometimes there's timestamps as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that could go in somewhere in the body of that tool. I think somewhere there as well, So basically we'd be using Andre's tool to input the backlog. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we potentially could do a little, if people volunteer for it, one way we could do it is through a little workshop, maybe. Vanessa
Yes,
or
yeah.
Andre? Yeah, and then take people through how to do it, and then let that run. I'm not sure if it should be one person or many people.
What I'm thinking is we've been talking about doing some kind of a session because there's new people who are not that familiar with the meeting summary tool. So I wonder if we could combine the two. Like, I know that Billy was asking, and I'm trying to sort something out with him. And I think Jen, you said you might be up for joining in, and a couple of other people. Onise, you said as well. So I'm thinking maybe what I've done is I've put budget for that in Q3 because I don't even know if we'll get to it by the end of the month. So even if we do it in June, we
Hmm.
could pay it in. And I think, we could look at including budget for people to actually attend, and then we could work out what the budget was supposed to be for this issue and pay people to actually upload the summaries. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. That's
I mean, can we just see a show of hands who might be interested in this? Like who might have time and have interest to upload some of these, or put your name in the chat, and then we can just make a note of who's up for it.
how much money should go in here?
Well, we need to look at the Q2 budget and see how much was
Oh,
supposed to
right,
be.
okay.
So, because we can't really change it now. All right, so we've got Onise and Jenny both up for it.
Vani, what summaries are we uploading? Sorry.
Sorry, say again.
What summaries?
Oh, these are from like the old, like from long way back, from like January to May, kind of 23, I guess. So it's the backlog.
Yeah, I can give
It's mostly town halls because there weren't really work groups. Nobody was meeting. So that's basically all it is. And we're just going to upload them through the tool. So Clement's interested, Gorga's interested. Have I missed anyone? No.
I'm
Are you up
interested.
for it as well, Onyeka?
Yeah.
Can you
So Stephen, can you note who said they're up for it so
Yeah,
we know who
so
to come to?
can you
All right,
post?
so
I can't post them between chat and here and easily.
no, so it's Jenny, it's Onise,
It's
it's
Jenny like
Gorga.
that.
Yeah,
Gorga. That's about right.
yeah, Gorga with an R.
And then who?
Onise, that's Oniza.
IZ.
Sorry, E.
E.
It's also correct. ONI.
ZE.
Sorry, it's also correcting on me. That's right. And then
IO,
um
AYO,
AYO. Yeah.
Clement,
Yeah.
and Photo G.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm assuming on UK, yes.
Yeah.
Nice. Have I missed anyone? 7 people. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we got you, Clement. We got you.
Okay, if anyone I've missed, we can put someone in the comment. I put
All right, nice
interested.
one.
I put interested. Can't cite now. Okay, just
All right, so
yeah, go on.
I didn't see myself
what?
there. I wasn't added.
Okay, well,
Oh yeah, you. Sorry, I
Oops.
thought you were. Yeah, Onyeka needs to be on there as well, Stephen, please.
okay.
Yeah, so if I have a look at it and try and work out like how we budget it, some of it will come out of this issue and some of it will have to come out of Q3, but we might do it in June. So yeah, go from there.
I'll just give a brief some background on this, so because there's lots of volunteers. The where have I got that here? If you look at the archive, I did originally update what we're talking about here manually, particularly. So going back to these pages here, I'll just paste these in chat. So these were updated manually, and this is what we're talking about, is the going right back to the beginning of the ambassador program. Okay, so and they're YouTube videos. So basically you have a YouTube video, and they have that as on a, I think originally it was on a channel it was on the Singularity Net channel, but now it's on the ambassador channel. And all we did really was take the YouTube video, put it in there under the name of the town hall. So this was the first town hall back in whenever that was. That's in 10th of May 2022. And then we just took any information that was underneath that, and we had some, like sometimes we had timestamps, and sometimes we had a little brief summary here. Yeah. So that's really what we, and sometimes sometimes there was an attached file, but not always. Okay. So what we would be doing with the task we're discussing is to do this not manually as we're doing here, but through the meeting summary tool. So that's really what we're intending to do. And that will involve, well, we'll probably need to do it through a workshop, as we said there, to work out how we're going to share the work amongst ourselves. And then maybe we could split that by date or something, Vanessa, do you think, or Andre, and get people to update it, and then add summaries. So it's a lot of work, but because there's a lot of backlog, but it's between a lot of people, it should be quite doable, really. So that'd be great if we can do that, and it'd be a great collaborative task as well. And also it would make our archive much more complete, because it's always been a kind of a bit of a missing element, the kind of the historical element. Anyway, I'll shut up now on that. That's the backlog. Okay, moving on to the next issue in order, and we have Q1. Should these be together, Q1, Q2 tag taxonomy? Or
Yeah, I mean, they are two separate things. Oh gosh. Right, if you can scroll. I can hear a bit of feedback. Is that coming from me?
I think it's now muted. Thanks for muting whoever did that. Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, if you can scroll down to the bottom.
Yeah. Gosh. Okay.
Okay, so oh right, so the link isn't in there to the spreadsheet.
Here it is.
Oh yeah, sorry. All right, so if you can open that up and we can have a look. Now we did say we had a deadline of today. Dun dun dun. And I know some people have finished, and really super congratulations to them. Ekamini is not here, but he has finished, and I think Lord Kissy has as well. I haven't. I'm kind of yeah. I don't know. Sukra, are you here? Have you? No, she ain't here. Essie's not here either, and I don't know if she's finished.
Essie's just come in.
Oh right, hi Essie. Yeah. How are you doing with it, Essie, on this? Are you there?
There's a lot of content here for Essie.
Can you scroll right down and just see if she's got to the end of her allocate? Oh, looks like she's done. Yeah, looks like she is done. Excellent. Right, I can see a comment in the chat from Anisa. Is this project open to all to work on? It's been allocated for quite a while, so I don't know if we can onboard anybody else. But I do notice if you go to Osmim's tab, Vasu's tab, I don't think he's done anything yet, and I think he's been really super busy with other things. So I'm wondering if he wants to drop out and if Oniso wanted to come in. I will message him and see if he is up for it still. Because, people have a lot of things on, and it feels like I don't want to be too hardline on everyone, but we do want to try and get this done by the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
Can I just ask those who have worked on it, like Onyeka and Essay, did you find that the time you had was reasonable? We estimated it was about 4 hours work. Has that, I mean, I think from what I've done that that's probably about accurate, but have you found it is?
Anyone have any thoughts on that? Speak up, or you can post in chat as well.
Right. So actually, I don't know, Granny, if you remember, during when we had the training, I actually said that the first deadline might not be feasible for me
Yeah.
due to the amount of workload I had. So,
Yeah, of course.
and along the line, it was, I guess, the current deadline, I think that was this Tuesday and this Wednesday. I think it was
Uh-huh.
okay for me. I was able to complete everything. So
Ah,
I
no, I
think
was talking more about like how did you, we assumed that it would take people about 4 hours. I mean, obviously it's finding those 4 hours to do the work, but do you think that was a fair
we need
estimate?
4 hours for everything.
Mhm.
Mm, it takes more. It should be to me.
Did
It
it?
takes more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe, yeah, we need to, because what I'm thinking is if people are finding that it's taking them dramatically more, maybe we need to allocate some budget for it in quarter 3 to kind of cover the shortfall, because people shouldn't be being underpaid. But I, I don't know. I sort of found for myself that it was about right, but then I guess I know the archive a bit better than some people, so I don't know, maybe, yeah. How long do you reckon it took on Yuka? Or if it's hard to estimate, just say I don't know. But and how about Essay? What did you think in terms of the time it took?
All right. So personally, for me, I didn't actually keep track.
Mhm.
So it wouldn't be nice giving a rough estimate.
Yeah.
So, but I know it actually took me time.
Okay. Essay, are you still here?
Hi, Bunny. For me, I think I used a bit more. Maybe I think maybe like 30 minutes extra or 1 hour extra, but it wasn't that much. Cause
All right.
I think I I worked on it about. I visited the page. I think was it 3 to 4 times,
Mhm.
5 times before I was able to finish up. And each time, I think I'll just check the history.
All
And
right.
each time, I think I spent about hour thereabout,
About how long?
thereabout.
Okay. So yeah, maybe what we need to do then is put the price. I mean, Ekamini, you're here as well. How did you find it time-wise?
So for me, it was, I didn't track how long time I spent, but I just kept on thinking it was completed. So it wasn't so much tasking except the video part, but I think it was okay for me.
Right. I mean, I think it is going to vary because if you had ones where there was a lot of videos with no commentary, that's going to have taken longer. So, and I know on Yuka, I know you had a couple of those as well, whereas I didn't. So I was just kind of like, yep, and went through it quicker. So would it seem reasonable if we put it up to, we assumed it would take somebody 4 hours. If we say it'll take 5 and we cover the shortfall in the quarter 3 budget, does that sound doable? If we estimate it at 5 hours. Yeah, I can see thumbs up. Yeah, yeah. All right, so we can do that. Stephen, if you can add to the notes that I will contact Vasu Osmium and just check if he's still on board. If he is, I think it's first come, first served, and we have to be a little bit flexible because people are busy with lots of other things. And so I will, if he's up for doing it, I'll try and find out if he's really got time or not. And if he is up for doing it, I think we have to let him. But if he wants to drop out, then Onisa, you could come in.
I'm not sure if I spelled his name right. But
And I think probably there are other people who would have liked to jump in at the time. So yeah, there'll be space for people to get involved with this kind of work in future. So I hope nobody feels like pushed out. I'm just going for literally who has said first that they're interested. What else do we need to minute about this? Yeah, we just need to decide what is the final closing date. I mean, I'm as bad as anybody else because I haven't finished yet, and it's just, it's hats off to Onyeka and Essie and Ekamini who have done it, but how long can we reasonably give us?
I mean, are we we have another month in this quarter?
Sorry, say again.
We have another month in this quarter.
Well, we do, but there's other work that we need to finish by the end of the quarter. Once we've got the tags done, we need to look at whether we can derive an actual taxonomy from this. So, yeah, it needs to be done. I think the other person who I don't think has, can you go to the sheet again?
Yeah. Okay.
I think the other person apart from me who hasn't finished is Sukra, and I know that's going to be because of she's had a ton of stuff to do with deep funding. So, oh no, actually, yeah, it's just me. Oh dear. Actually, has Duke managed to get done? Okay, he's got a little bit to do, I think. All right. So if you could minute that, I will ask him as well how he is feeling about it. So Vasu and Duke. Nice. All right. And yeah, I'll be in touch. We've got a Discord group for it, so I'll be in touch about how we're going to manage the payments and yeah, whether we bring on other people and I'll find out there what Vasu and Duke are doing. But yeah, deadline. I think I can get it done by the end of the week. So, but then if somebody's coming on new, they won't be able to get it done by the end of the week, probably. So we'll just have to discuss in the Discord channel what the new deadline is. But it's got to be sooner rather than later. So yeah, that's a little bit of a messy update, but yeah, we'll sort it out offline.
Okay, I've got a decision there and an action. So
Yeah.
Okay. And this goes for the other taxonomy issues, does it?
Well, no, because that's like different work in a way.
Okay.
This, if you can just open it.
Well, the
Yeah,
taxonomy,
that
this
one.
one, yeah.
Yeah, that is what we do when we finished issue 1. So this is about analysing our tags and seeing if we can create a controlled vocabulary. So we've got, what is it, 350 on that?
Yeah.
Okay, just scroll down a minute. Okay. Oh, right. So if we just say, what can we update on that? Maybe we can't update anything till we know where we are, but I'm thinking there might be space for other people. I'll have to look at the budget and see if there's space for other people to be added to this work. To be honest, I think too many cooks might spoil the broth. So I hate to say to people, oh, yeah, we can't really, but there will be other work
Talking
like
about
this.
there now. Maybe those small fall
Could
out
you
of
mute
the
yourself,
mouth.
whoever that is?
Maybe to come on. Oh, someone she got 45 for that man.
Oh, who's that? Okay, Nick. I don't know who that is.
Okay. Yeah, to be fair, you have the issues linked here, so it has a context.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, and the same for mentorship and check-in.
I mean, that's just ongoing. That might be what's slowed me down actually, because I have been doing that. But yeah, I need to go through some of the ones I haven't looked at, so it's still ongoing. Yeah.
Okay. Backtracking a little bit, we have the explainer video. Can't remember what we last said about this.
Oh yeah, we just assigned it to Onika, didn't we?
Yeah. So we're going to assess, it's still in progress according to this. So we aim to the second week of June. So I'm assuming that's still the case. There's nothing else. I'll move on from there. Hold on. Yeah, it's in progress, Nika. Okay, that's great. Okay, cool. The town hall session. Again, I'm not sure what was our discussion about this. This like an open discussion, Andre. We're kind of, I can't remember where we left it with Ubio, or is Ubio now quite busy with stuff?
Andre, you've got an update on this, haven't you?
Say again?
Andre should have an update on this because you had a chat with him, right? And he's
Yes,
kind of
yes.
saying, "Oh, can we use the
Yeah.
videos?" And we were like, "Oh, not
I
sure."
yeah. I started creating a doc about the work Ubio has done. So I just need to add that last piece where he will describe what he's next working on. But I have added the information on the work he has already done. So then we can take that doc and give it to whoever wants to present this. I think there were people interested, Ekamini and Essie. So we can give that doc to them, and then they
Cool.
could use that to work on a presentation. They can just ask me if they want to know anything. Let me try and find that doc.
Yeah, if we could link it in the issue, that would be cool.
Yeah. I think it might be on my other laptop, but I will link it there.
Yeah, sure. I'll paste the comments there. There's the link to the comment, Andre. So,
Okay, thanks so much.
yeah, cool. Okay, that's in progress then, really.
So Ekamini and Essie, are you all right to keep check the issue and kind of have a look at the doc when it's there and kind of we're going to come back in the next meeting and talk about, I mean, do you want to actually start working on it once you've got the document?
Yeah, I'll first have to, check the doc and understand it. Then how an essay can start working on it.
Nice. So if you two just liaise asynchronously, or well, not asynchronously, but outside of the meeting, then
Okay.
yeah, excellent.
Yeah, if you could paste in the other name, I don't have the spelling there for that. So
It's above in the comment above, Stephen.
oh, is it?
Just cut and paste second line.
Okay, got you. I'm still interested as above. Okay. Got you. Okay, so that's still in progress. These things take time. So we don't have any assignees then as yet, because that's going to depend on when the work starts, or should I assign?
I mean, maybe assign it to Essay, but also Ekamini, are you part of this GitHub organization?
Yeah, that's another thing
'Cause-
we need.
Yeah, we probably need to be able to assign you to stuff at some point. So we should send you an invite.
I'll put that as
Do you already have a GitHub account? I'm assuming yes.
I do.
All right, if you can just stick your username in the chat, then we'll invite you.
Okay.
I'll put that as a kind of action for me as well.
I've sent it.
Yeah, sure.
Nice one.
I don't want to do that on screen because the security.
Yeah, obviously.
So
But
yeah,
you can see, do you want to add Ekamini's actual username to the chat so that we don't forget?
yeah, hold on a sec.
It's sorry to the issue. It's
Yeah,
in the chat.
I've got it now.
Okay, cool.
Anderson.
Yeah, I
Coffee.
found it. I'm gonna add the document to the issue now.
Okay. I'll add you after I stop sharing the screen, Kemi. So there's no security issues there. If you're going to add that in the issue, then Andre, I'll let you do that async. Yeah. Okay.
I've added it. Yep.
Okay. So we added.
Oh shucks, no, it's the wrong one. Sorry. I'll edit it.
Okay. Moving on to where are we? Town hall session on tag taxonomy we discussed. I think we got to bounties for good meeting summaries.
No, actually, the town hall session on the tag taxonomies is a separate thing.
Oh, I missed that one. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember who that's assigned to. It's not assigned to anybody.
potential
yeah, we had a
participants.
list of possible participants. Right. How are we going to progress this? Should we leave it until at least it's finished? We've got something to share. I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Basically, we just want to present what we've been doing and why it's important.
it feels like it's a cumulative thing. So
Yeah.
like, this is kind of dependent on the work before to get some clarity as well. So it's similar to the evolution of the supervisory council issue.
I mean, what I'm thinking actually is that the only person out of those four who is not already in the project and therefore on our Discord is Photogy. So if I invite you to it, Photogy, then you can all use that space to kind of talk about creating a presentation for town hall, because it would be super nice to get it done before the end of the quarter, but I think there's probably quite a lot of things that want to go in a town hall before the end of the quarter. So yeah, I will invite Photogy, I'll invite you to it and then we can just work from there. Does that sound all right? Cool. All right.
To town hall, is that all?
No, to the Discord chat that we've got about the tag taxonomy work.
Okay.
And
I like that as an action so we can pick it up later. There you go. Right, moving on. Let's see, have we done bounties for good? No, we're on that now, aren't we? Yeah, bounties for good meeting summaries.
no, this is the big reveal. This is quite exciting. I know that the group has been meeting. And Clement, are you still here, or is it going to be Onyeka who is telling us who the winner is?
Well, I can take that. Then maybe Onyeka is gonna chip in a thing or two,
Go on then. Excellent.
Go on then, yeah.
Yeah. So we looked at we had a meeting, myself and Suker,
right,
and Onyeka as well. I think initially Bunny was part of the Discord group, and then you left. And then we continued there, though, and then we looked at the meeting summaries, I think from the 13th, down to the very last. Now, we looked at certain considerations, right? And the three considerations were, one, we considered the tax, right? The meeting tax, if the content of the summaries actually match the tax that were included in the summary as well. And then we also looked at content in terms of rationale and opposing arguments, right? Because we believe that these two inclusions, they review or tell us a lot about the decisions that were made in that very meeting, right? As regards to summary that's been given. And then we also looked at inclusion of working documents as well in summaries, because we noticed that a couple of summaries do not include working documents. And well, it's important that these working documents are included just in case someone wants more information, to navigate what was there on the summary, and maybe wants to contribute to a tax, for example, that's in a document, and then, yeah, we looked at all those three. And then we had a tough time, honestly, picking up the winners. But then we picked this outstanding performances asynchronously, and then we weighted against common decision. So by our rankings, the knowledge base work group, especially their meeting for the 15th of May, was the most outstanding for us. I'd like to use the word, or the best amongst our pick. And then, well, obviously, then the archives work group came in second by our rankings. And then I think the last ranking, Kizzy, could you remember that, please?
Yeah, the R&D.
Yeah, the R&D guild. Thank you very much, came in third. So that's been that from our end. Thank you.
2 was archives work group, and then 3 was
the R&D guild.
R&D guild. Okay.
Yeah, big congrats to Sivo. Yeah. Right, so
Yeah.
what we've got then, that's brilliant. Thank you for that update. And we've got the criteria and the winners. I'm just realizing a couple of new people might not know what the heck this is about. We decided we wanted to incentivize good meeting summaries. So a group of 3 people has got together and kind of worked out, as Clement said, what the criteria are in terms of kind of what is not everybody doing. What do we need to incentivize more? And so they've come up with those 3. And then they are going to be picking winners. They're picking 1 winner in this meeting. And then for the next archives meeting, you're going to be picking 2 winners. So it's 1 a week. So it's basically a matter of me getting summaries up. Like, I think if people haven't submitted very many, you can look outside of the next 2 weeks, I think. But yeah, we'll be doing selecting 2 in the next archives meeting on the 12th and 2 in the last archives meeting of the quarter, which is whatever 2 weeks from the 12th is. I can't really. It'll be the 26th. So, what we need to do now, and I realised this was a bit of a schoolgirl error. We didn't budget for publicising it, so I'll just do it. And we just need to say, ta-da, this has happened. We decided, we didn't share it before because we didn't want it to change people's behaviour. But here are the criteria, and here's the winner, and there will be more. So I think the winner gets $50. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Nice.
was all talked about in the last meeting. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So basically, I need to publicize that. Andre, you might need to transfer the money. And the
Yep.
group, you just need to pick your 2 winners this time and bring them to the next archives meeting.
2 winners.
Yeah, because you'll be covering, like, ideally pick them from the 2 weeks from now until the 12th. But if you need to, and remember also Tiva can't win again. We decided that.
Yeah, of course.
So it's got to be that. But I do think once people see this, they might go, oh, right. So that means this is what I need to do with my meeting summaries. And there might be better summaries.
Okay.
Well, Essay says, what if he wins again? He just can't. He's out of the running.
Doesn't he
He's
get a
just got to be
consolation prize?
excluded. No matter how good his summaries are, we'll just have to go, no, you can't possibly win.
Oh, no. Okay, that's great. That's a lot of. It's good to see some collaboration there.
Do you suggest that? Oh, sorry. I just want to ask a question. Do you suggest that we keep these criteria for selection maybe kind of private?
I mean, what do you think, Vanessa?
I feel that we could share the criteria on which you judged this time, but you don't have to have the same criteria next time. If you notice that there are other things that people are not doing, you could change them.
Oh, all right.
But you don't have to. You could keep the same ones if you want.
Okay, I'm just responding to Jenny in chat there that yeah, I will add you to GitHub. I'll again do it after I stop screen sharing.
Vani, sorry, before you actually publicize the winner, Sukri wanted us to add a little bit of a one-liner sentence where the reason why we appointed this person as the winner. So I guess we'll have to send that to you first before you actually publicize the winner.
That'd be brilliant if you could do that.
All right.
Okay. So I just I'll add to get people to GitHub, as I say, after the meeting. Right, just to see where we are. Publicity for Q2. Is this related to
This is you, Anika.
Yeah. All right, this is Twitter updates, Anika.
Yeah, I added them this morning.
So here they are. That's great. That's a good engagement there. And for other one was this one. The computer's a bit slow. That's the yeah. So again, a question posed there and some engagement, lots of engagement.
These are
That's
great.
nice. That's nice, yeah.
These are really good.
Yeah.
Have we retweeted these from QA DAO?
That's a good point,
We
actually.
All right, so we need to do that. And
Well, I'll
anybody
like
else who's
and
active on Twitter.
Retweet now. They go in live. There you go.
Nice.
And I'll do the other one as
But-
well, actually.
But like, yeah, if anybody else is active on Twitter, Onyeka posts the links to the tweets that he makes in that issue, so you can find them there. And please do like retweet and amplify them.
I'll just copy the issue into chat there. Okay, that's the issue we're talking about. That's great, Io. If you can look at the issue and if you scroll down to the end, you'll see Anika's put the links to the X account. So if you can like and retweet, that kind of thing, that'd be really helpful. Thanks a lot for that. That's great. And it helps with publicity and engagement, which is really good. Moving on to, so we've got a lot to cover here, haven't we? The Q1 correction tasks, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of just folding in a bit with the tag taxonomy, but I'm just plowing through it, honestly. And it kind of feels like, because some of the things that we're doing have changed, I'm kind of glad again that I've not just leapt in and done it, because I'd only have to do it again. But yeah, it's getting there.
It's
It
in
feels like I've been a
progress,
bit slow with
yeah.
this, but yeah. And the same is true of the Q2 version. Yeah, it's embarrassing that I've still got Q1 work in progress, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I can only apologize.
It's a tricky one because, it's a kind of, it's like a quality assurance check, isn't it? So it's kind of like, it takes time and, it takes some back and forth as well. Is this now complete, this Q1? Why we have this open?
No, because we've still got issues that are in the Q1 budget that are still open, as we've just seen.
I see.
Which is embarrassing. So we said we'd keep it open until they're all closed.
Okay. And paid.
Unpaid.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why that's
So-
open. Okay. The Git. Okay, now we're on to the different issues for the Git book. So we have I think we did
Yeah,
this
outstanding for March, I think, is basically there's a
R&D
couple of
Guild.
the R&D Guild. Yeah, I've spoken to Guillermo about that, and he has got it. He just hasn't added it to the tool.
Mm,
So hopefully by the end of the week. And then there is a couple. I think there's a couple of town halls. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And the issue with that was that it was there, but it hadn't been added to the playlist, so I didn't find it. So I messaged Slate and went, where's this summary? And he went, yeah, it's there. You're just not looking. So yeah, I just need to add those.
Cool.
And then we're done.
And then for April, let's have a look. There's more to be updated. Is this because of deep funding stuff or something, do you think? Or
No, it's just because I think governance work group is most of them, and they hadn't been adding it. They'd just been keeping the summaries. So Essie has found them all, created documents, and I just need to add them to the tool. And we've had a little word with them about, come on, lads, you need to do it yourself in future. So yeah,
okay.
all good. And then there's town halls, basically, which again I just need to crack on with. But otherwise, I think Essie, we're all square apart from that, right?
Cool.
Oh, there's an onboarding.
The onboarding work group, I don't know. You know, I asked if they've because I reached out to Sukrin
Yeah,
and she said they've updated it already. So I asked and you said you're going to check.
I think I've added it. I think pretty sure I did. Let me just get. Actually, we can do it outside of the meeting rather than spending time, but I think that can be ticked off. Writers work group has been added. Can you scroll to the bottom? Yeah, we've got all the writers ones. Oh, Andre, there is something that I need to chase with you afterwards. We'd
Yep.
added some of these writers work groups ones as no summary given, and then they gave a summary, so we added that. So we just need to delete the no summary given.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
yeah, I'll send you a link to all the ones where that's happened, and if you could do
Okay.
that'd be ace.
Yep. That's good.
Okay. And
All
there's
right.
there's unlikely to be many updates for May, but let's have a quick look. No, it's nothing for May.
Nah, we just need to actually, yeah, Essie, we need to get the list in there because I know there's quite a lot of May meetings already up.
Yeah.
I'll do that before the weekend,
Cool.
actually.
Nice one, thank you. That's fab.
Cool. Okay.
And I think I've brought in the issue for June as well, or have I?
Is it?
No, I haven't. All right, it's still sitting in to do.
No.
All right, I'll bring it over when it is June in a couple of days.
Okay, we have a
right.
holding issue for the quarterly report for Q2. When do we want to start work on this? Not until the end of next month, I suppose, or
Oh no, I think we should be starting to think about it now.
really?
What
Okay.
I moved it in to in progress because I wanted to ask people. I don't know if you remember in the quarterly report for Q1, I did both a kind of text-based narrative one and one that was based on the spreadsheet of the budget. Doing both was a bit fiddly and quite a lot of work, but do people have any thoughts about which one you'd prefer?
I think there's no strong opinions on that.
All right, well, I think in that case it's going to be a narrative one then, because
Okay.
that's easier to do.
Yeah. Do you want to put a link to the previous one in here?
Oh, I can do, yeah. I can't find it. I haven't got it handy at the
I
moment,
can't-
but I will add that. And I'll also add a draft that people can comment on and contribute to. So if you have a look at that issue in a couple of days. Yeah.
I'll try not to find it now, otherwise I'll be here all day because we have so many issues. So okay, great. Okay. Now guidelines on how to make a document community owned. Is this newish? Oh, it's 3 weeks. Okay.
Yeah, it's newish, and it's, there's a lot of stuff that's come out of the conversations we've had with Ubio and with the supervisory council, but I haven't finished it yet. I'll have it for next. meeting.
Yeah, that's an interesting subject, as well. So, yeah, watch this space. Chasing up missing meeting summaries. Did we just touch on that, or why is this a separate issue? Is this a budget issue for budget reasons? That's a separate issue, or
Yeah, that's just the work that Esso does to actually. Is there anything to add in the actual issue itself, Esso? There's not, is there?
because it's kind of just budgeting for what
I
we just.
suppose actually what we could do is we could log what the issues have been. So it's like writers work group are now doing summaries and governance work group haven't been adding it by the tool. So we could just keep a note of those things just so we know.
Or we
what's been
could
happening.
just simply link in the related issues, like that. So, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll put the rest in. Hold on a second. This so that there's some context. That's all. We go back to there. And the other one, it's April, and then it'll take you to May. Okay, yeah, so that gives us some context because that shows what work has been done there.
Nice.
Okay. Now this is a new issue which is just started. The AI ethics policy, and I think you mentioned this in the decision at the beginning, or the summary you did at the beginning, Vanessa, where we haven't had any comments on this yet. Is that right?
We have had some from Colleen mainly. I don't know how able she is to get to meetings at the moment, but yeah, just to encourage people to add any thoughts as well.
Right.
And just to bear in mind, it's a kind of strategy on AI ethics in the context of the archive. It's about how do we think we as the SNet archive should use AI or not use AI, and what are the issues. So some of it has come from like looking at other AI policies and how other people approach it, and some of it has come from the work that Stephen's been doing as well. So I sort of feel like if anybody wants to add some comments, that would be really good. And what I'm suggesting, if you look at that comment at the top, I'm suggesting actually finishing this work in Q3. So a small budget to incentivize people to contribute, and then budget for a small team to come up with a final draft. So if there's people who are interested in that, we can talk about it next meeting. But in the meantime, yeah, if anyone's got comments
Yeah.
or thoughts, just go, because this is quite a rough and dirty document. All right, Io, interested. Excellent.
Jenny's interested as well. So, okay.
Oh, good. Yeah, fabulous. Oh, right, 3 people. Right. I kind of said 4 people, so I definitely want to be in it as well. But yeah, we can maybe stretch it to 5, Clement. Nice one. All right, if you could just note.
Yeah, I kind of this may not be in order.
Io, it was Io, it was Jenny, Io, Onise, Clement. And I think we can't stretch to more, I don't think.
No, I'm afraid not.
Budget wise, I don't know. We'll have a look at it. All right.
I'll put all the names who are interested, and then we can decide who we can budget.
Oh, Ecomini as well.
But the main thing that people really need to do is to go and look at the document. I pasted a link to this issue. So above, and if you go to the issue link, and you can then see information about the issue here, including the link to the document. And if you go to the document and read through it, it's very basic. It's like an outline more than a document, really. And then add any comments that you have, or any observations that you have to that. Yeah.
See, this is something that comes from the way that onboarding work group works. If we have a document that we want people to contribute to, we try to incentivize this by paying like a flat rate for every document you contribute to. So I'm kind of thinking we'll do something like that, but it'll have to come out of quarter 3 budget.
Yeah.
And obviously it's going to include Colleen as well because she's done loads. So
Yeah.
kind of that's where everybody can jump in. But when we're actually finalizing the documents written by 10 people are always dreadful.
Yeah.
So I think we need a small team, and we'll maybe have to look at that when we get there in terms of who's free and who's got time and who's had a lot of input. So yeah.
So it could be like a two-stage thing where you're kind of gathering general input and then more polishing
exactly.
the document. Okay. So that's another thing to bear in mind. Obviously, we're at a very early stage, which is quite an interesting stage, but it's like ideation, basic framework, getting a lot of people's input. And then once we've done that, we would need to polish it up, and then we'd have more of a team, more of a smaller team or a couple of individuals who would do that.
Just bear in mind when you're commenting that it's not about AI ethics for the whole of SNET. It's not even for the ambassador program at all. It's in an archives context. So that's what we need to focus on.
I actually put that explicitly in the title, so it's absolutely clear. Okay. Because it can be a very general topic. So please try and think of it, as Vanessa says, in terms of the archives, not as a general issue particularly. Okay, moving on to we have an issue for the quarter 3 budget. Is this preparation?
Well, kind of, but we were in a governance meeting yesterday and we kind of said, look, the deadline's got to be before the end of the quarter. So we've said the 14th of June. So that's quite soon, basically.
Yeah,
So I've got a draft here. And if you look at where we got our strategic focus for Q3, I always do this and try to identify what we're focusing on. So any comments or sorry, can you scroll back up, Stephen?
yeah, it's not behaving.
Oh,
I think
okay.
so.
Yeah, if anybody wants to sort of make some comments there about if you look at the budget, what do you see as what we're focusing on? Because I've suggested maybe connecting with the archives and record keeping community, but I don't think we're ready yet. I don't think we've got enough to show yet. So that feels like quarter 4 actually. Sentiment analysis was something that we were looking at with Ubio, but I don't know if it's actually going to be a focus in this quarter. Engaging the community with the rag retrieval process, I think, is definitely something we want to focus on. So yeah, if anyone's got any thoughts or comments, but yeah, if you want to just scroll down a little bit, Stephen, I have drafted. There's obviously the way we do our budget. We split it into regular tasks, which is like the core activities, like the archive and the development work. And then we've got one-off tasks, and there's just a few things that have emerged out of the work we've done this quarter. I'm looking at, I think I had something on General Archives publicity. It was 230 last time, and that's what you're doing on Yuka. Do you want to continue with that? Oh, is he gone?
I'm sure.
Sorry, come again.
I think he's gone, hasn't he? All right, well, I'll DM him and find out.
I said come again. Can you hear me?
Oh, he's here. All right. Yeah, do you want to continue? Are you up for continuing with that work?
What work? Sorry.
The publicity, the General Archives publicity, like engaging people through Twitter and DMing everybody about the meetings and publicizing what we're doing.
Yeah. I would say I could do the announcements,
Uh-huh.
but for the publicity, Twitter publicity, no.
Okay, well that's interesting. Aya has just said I can assist with the publicity. So all right, we might need to split that between the two of you. And yeah, that'd be fabulous, Aya. We're good to know.
Alright.
We'll come back to it next week, but like, can you just, have you got the, sorry, Stephen, can you just note in the publicity one, IO and Onika?
What, the sheet?
No, in the actual budget sheet.
Yeah. Not easily.
The
I
budget
can.
line for
Yeah.
publicity.
Yeah, can you add that? I can't really add that.
Oh,
easily.
all right, sorry. Yeah, all right. And then yeah, this is something that we probably want to discuss with Sucre. We said that in Q3 we'd look at whether us having an input into the Ambassador's Gitbook was useful or not. Kind of think it is. I kind of think it's still worth having budget for and doing. But we need to see if she's up for considering. And I'm assuming, Essie, are you up for continuing with chasing meeting summaries, or is it just a thankless task that you don't want to do anymore?
Any feedback there, I see?
Stephen,
Okay.
can you open the budget sheet, please? And if you can scroll down a little bit, we're including things on community involvement with the RAG retrieval process. And we're including what we did last time, which is ideas from members. You can see the final budget line, 500. I'm suggesting that we take the same approach as the last quarter. So people add ideas into the issue that we had open before, and we decide in the next meeting which ones we're going to do. Does that sound like, something that we should?
Yes, I think so, yeah.
Cool. So please add your ideas and try to give a rough idea of what you think it would cost and add them into the issue itself rather than into the budget sheet. And we will discuss it next meeting. Yeah, Jenny commenting in the chat about being involved in the data analysis part. Yeah, it will be a little way off, as Stephen says, but we have budgeted for that in terms of RAG and data analysis work, brackets, community. I think, yeah, we need to sort of think about whether that budget line is right or if it needs to be more. But thanks for flagging up your interest. And yeah, it'd be good to have you.
Yeah.
All right.
On that, just trying to find the GitHub repository for that. There is a GitHub. I'm not sure if you've got that handy, Andre. If you could paste in the GitHub repository where the data is in chat, yeah, for Jenny. Is Andre there?
Sorry, I'm muted. Yeah, I'll paste it in chat.
Yeah, just paste in chat. And what Andre's going to paste in chat, Jenny, is the source for the data, the raw data that we're collecting. That is the same source which we are. So it just gives you an idea of what we're dealing with. It's in like JSON files and stuff. So, and then we're going to have to start. We're already manipulating that. So when it gets into a process of it going through, then we may. I'll try and look at options for participation then as well. Okay. Cool. Okay, we're done on the budget now. Vanessa?
I think so. Yeah, just reminding everybody to add ideas to that issue, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Again,
not next week, next fortnight.
Yeah, again, I'll paste if everyone can just always, because a lot of requests for links and stuff like that, please refer to the project board, and you'll find all links and information there. And also, if you have an account, which I'll add the accounts after the screen share, it should allow you to comment as well. So if you have something substantive to say on an issue, you can comment here as well. Bear in mind that this is all public, so yeah, just have to be careful about what you say, and any private links, don't put any private links in, that kind of thing. Okay, the last issue is updates to the ambassadors Gitbook. I've forgotten all about this. Is this related to what is this related to now, Vanessa?
I mean, this is Sukra's task, and I think if you go to the top, it should say when she's due to do updates. I know she's done the first one. Right, 17th of May. I think she's probably done it. I haven't checked. And I don't think she's Sukra, are you here?
No.
No. All right. I'll DM her and just chase it, because I know she's been super busy because of deep funding. So
Right.
probably we can close that issue and send
Yes.
it for payment.
There's still time because it's still not due until the end of June.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, are there any other comments about issues on the board? I'll take that as a no, and then I'll stop sharing the board. And before I end the recording, is there any other business that we need to discuss? Okay,
So
well,
yeah, there kind of is.
go on then,
If you remember last session, people from Gamers Guild came and gave us a little walkthrough of how they were presenting different work groups, and they sent us a document to complete.
Okay.
And I was just going to share. I'm just trying to find it. Sorry, just 1 second.
Yeah.
But basically, it was just like, what kind of stuff do we want in the game about Archives Work Group? So I kind of completed it without consulting anyone, and I wanted to ask if people were good with it. So there it is in the chat. I wonder if you could screen share it, Stephen.
Yeah, hold on, let me just
Or do you want me to?
I'm just finding out trying to get my links in order. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, do you want to talk to us, Vanessa?
So yeah, I just took what does this work group do literally off the write-up that we've given ourselves in the Ambassador Gitbook. Main facilitator is Stephen, and scroll down a little bit. Yep, that's what we say, and that's what we've added about how people can contribute and what the key objectives are. And then what they're doing is they're having kind of non-speaking characters doing little things. So if you just scroll down, I've given a list for them of stuff that they could have these NPCs saying.
So we're NPCs now.
We are. Well, no, you're the work group lead, so you get to talk.
Oh my God. Okay. I thought it was non-playing.
So no, I'm afraid you are a player character.
Oh dear. Okay.
And yeah, so this is the list of stuff that we tend to do in this meeting. And so if anybody has anything that they think, oh God, no, that shouldn't be there, then speak now.
Okay, well that's there. We shared the link in chat as well, haven't we? So yeah.
But yeah, if anybody hasn't seen what they're doing with Roblox, it's really cool, and it's just a really nice way of introducing people and gamifying the process of getting into the ambassador program. So it is quite fun.
A bit of fun, yeah. Okay, I'll stop the share on that, and cool. And then stop recording. I'll stop recording now if that's the last of any other business.